Hey guys, it's RAJASIDEE. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a video on the new ABH Subculture Palette. I want to do a review and a demo for this palette. I think what I did was I looked at a lot of different reviews before or after buying the palette, which I shouldn't have done. I think I should have watched the reviews before and then bought the palette, but I have it. Let's see how it is. If you haven't seen the photos, it comes with a brush like all Anastasia palettes do. It's one of the brushes that's like a blender on one side and like a shader brush on the other side, which I actually don't happen to like because I have one from the Modern Renaissance palette and I never use it. And then for the actual palette, it comes with, I think it's 11 matte eyeshadows, 2 duochrome shadows, and 1 metallic eyeshadow. I think I'm just gonna start by swatching the eyeshadows. I don't know, which one should I go for? I don't want to mess it up. It's so pretty. I don't want to mess it up. But I think I'm going to swatch Rowdy because I really like that one. It's a deep, like, dark purple. Oh, they feel really soft. That's pigment right there. Yeah. So that's nice pigment. There's a lot of controversy over these. That is so soft. I'm just swatching New Wave. But they're really, really soft. Oh, look at that.
Wow. That's really pigmented.
And then let's do Electric, which is one of the duochrome shadows. This is one of the shadows that everybody has an issue with because it's a lot lighter in person than you think it would be. But I'm liking, pigmented. Yeah, it's pretty pigmented, and if you just wet your brush, which I don't really have a problem with doing, you'll get the pigment that you want. So the next few shadows that everybody was complaining about is All Star, which is right there, Axis, which is a really nice, like, deep green color. It almost matches like the packaging. And then they were also complaining about Roxy. So I'm gonna swatch those three and see how that is. Wow. So this is Axis, All Star, and Roxy, and I'm gonna swatch it somewhere over here. Let's do. That's All Star, Axis, and Roxy. I love that color. So that's what those look like. So far, I'm not noticing fallout, and that's maybe just because I'm just swatching it with my fingers. Now, the thing with fallout, right, is I've seen a lot of people like take their brush and just dig into it and swirl it. That's not how I apply my makeup. I like to just tap it once and then, you know, build up the color if it needs to be done that way. So that's what I'm gonna do. Anyways, I've already primed my eyelids with my Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and I think I'm just gonna go for it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use colors that people have an issue with, so I'm gonna start with Roxy. And this is how I do it. I take my brush and I just dip into it once. And there's a little bit of kickback, but it's not a lot if you do it that way. Let me see if you can see it. I don't know, my camera's not gonna show it too much, but it's not bad. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And then if you saw a lot of powder in here, it's not too bad, because I've seen other people with like a lot of powder fall out. So I'm just putting this in my crease. Let me zoom you in. So I'm just again gonna tap into Roxy right there. And even just one tap, it's a lot of pigment. Do you see that? Yeah. Right? And I don't mind it. But I'm just gonna work on blending this out.
It's very pigmented.
It's very pigmented, just
all
for
you're
one
doing
tap.
is just tapping.
Yeah.
And it picked up a lot.
I read in somebody's comments that this brand should have marketed this palette as it's a very pigmented palette and you really don't need to use more than just one tap. And I think if they did that, it wouldn't have received such negative feedback, which I kind of agree with, but then again, like, that's how I do my eyeshadow anyway. Do you want to say a quick hi because I keep looking at you in the camera?
Sure.
Okay. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm looking this way, my friend's here and she wanted to test out the palette as well, so Yeah. I don't know. I'm really liking that palette. I mean, that color so far. I think it blended out nicely.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't really see a lot of fallout either on your palette.
Yeah, and I don't see any fallout there. What I've seen people do is literally dig into that shadow and they've hit pan. Don't do that. You really don't need to be doing that with an eyeshadow like this. And if you're familiar with Anastasia Beverly Hills as a brand, you know that all their things are just so pigmented. I use their Dip Brow pomade today, and I really don't need to use a lot. A little goes a long way. And that's the running theme between all of their products. So okay, so the next color that I'm going to go into is New Wave, which is right here. That's a color that a lot of people had an issue with as well, because they said that as soon as they applied it on top of a different color, it started going really muddy. So let's see if it's going to do that with my eyeshadow that I already applied, which is Roxy. So again, I'm just going to tap lightly, and you just see all that pigment that came up. Yep. And not a lot of fallout. The fallout is just as much as I get with my Modern Renaissance, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, I don't see it becoming muddy. I do think it's a little hard to blend because it's like stuck right there. That's the only issue that I have with this shade, but I don't think it's getting muddy. Okay, so the next shade that I'm going into is Fudge, which is right there. And again, I'm just going to dip into it just like that. And it's just as much fallout as I've been saying with my Modern Renaissance. So I'm just going to put this in my outer V. This one I have an issue with because it's not blending. Like up here, do you see how it's like that little part like right here is just not moving? But it's not like, I mean, I don't mind taking a little bit extra time to just like blend out my eyeshadows a little bit more. Except now I feel like it looks a little weird on camera. I don't know if this is going to be a mistake or not, but I'm going to take Axis, which is right there, on like a flat shader brush and put this on my lid, and let's see how it is. This one doesn't really have a lot of fallout either, but that pigment though. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add like Roxy to blend it out, but I don't know if I should do that.
I could see how it's difficult to blend.
Yeah, this is an eyeshadow that's this is my one problem now. Is this eyeshadow is really difficult to blend. And then when I blend it out, I feel like it's blending into nothing.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm taking Fudge again. I kind of feel like I look like I have a black eye. You do. See, right here is when it's not blending, and now I'm getting that muddy eyeshadow look. Alright, so this shade Axis that I put on the lid is what I'm having an issue with, because the pigmentation is great, but as you try to blend it out, it's really hard, and then when you do get it to blend out, it sort of blends into nothing, and it feels like you didn't really apply any color. So I'm going to leave this eye this way. I'm going to try to do something else with this eye. I think what I'll do is take a flat shader brush and go in with Adorn, which is that metallic color, and let's see what the pigmentation is like on that. That one doesn't really have fallout. Okay, I'm a little underwhelmed. Let's do this. I'm going to, hold on, okay. I'm going to take the color on the brush and then just spray it with my setting spray and then see if that helps. That helped a little bit, but like not by much. I don't know, what do you think?
It's very subtle, like not.
Yeah, it doesn't pop like I thought it would. This definitely pops more with your finger. And again, I'm just going to take a blending brush and just blend that out. So I think what the issue is, right? Keep warm tones together and cool tones together. That's because I think this looks great.
Yeah.
I could wear this out and I think it'll be fine. I don't know if I want to finish the makeup.
So what if you use Rowdy to blend it out?
This?
Yeah.
Alright, let's try. I'm going to use a different brush. Alright, I'm going to give this eye one more shot and let's see if I can blend out this mess. I'm going to use Rowdy, which is right there. And let's see. I think that just went black, but that's I think because of the brown that was underneath it. That's weird. That's not blending on the bottom over here. I don't know if you can tell, but like I think it's because of this Access shade. That shade does not want to blend whatsoever.
So I don't think it's going to work with any shade.
Yeah. Okay. Because Rowdy is not the problem because that's blending. As I'm moving it around, it blends. And I don't really want to try anymore.
Yeah.
I do like how this came out though. If you're wondering about this little patch right here, I just have an issue with this eye just not blending colors, or it just doesn't take color well right in that outer corner. So that's an issue I have with every eyeshadow that I use. So that's not like, I wouldn't put that as this palette's fault. Actually no, I do want to use one more shade. Let's see how Cube is. So I'm going to use that. Should I use it on this side or on this side? Let's see.
Well, leave the one that looks like you have black eye. Leave that one alone.
Okay. Alright, so I'm putting Cube on this eye.
I think we should really touch that one.
Ooh. You can't really see it on camera that well, but in person it reflects nice pink. Do you see it?
Yeah.
I really like that shade a lot. Okay, so we have a slight change of hair, makeup, and clothes. That is because I'm filming this the day after I filmed my Subculture demo and review. And the reason being, I forgot to mention a few things that I wanted to say yesterday. So the first things that I want to mention are some of the pros to this palette, and I'm mainly speaking about the mattes that are in this palette. The mattes have great pigmentation. And I've been mentioning this throughout the entire video. You really don't need to swirl around your brush into the pan to get a lot of product or get a lot of pigmentation on your eyes. So just dipping into it once is perfectly fine to get you that color on your eyelid. So the next pro that I want to mention is just the color selection of this palette. When you think of like a fall collection or fall tones, you think of like, you know, burgundies and oranges and just warm tones in general. So this being in their fall collection is such a twist on that, and it introduces you to cool tones like Access and Untamed, Rowdy, and just all these different colors that you wouldn't really think of when you think of fall. So it really sets you out of your comfort zone in that way. So now getting to the cons, I was really underwhelmed with the 3 eyeshadows I was looking forward to the most. And those are the 2 duochromes, which are Electric and Cube, and Adorn. Not so much Electric because I haven't really used that one. I only swatched it and it looked okay. But Adorn and Cube I did use on my eye, as you saw in the tutorial. Cube in the pan looks white, but like as I'm moving it this way I can see the hints of pink, which is fine, but it's not as pigmented as I thought it would be. Adorn, again, same thing, not as pigmented as I thought it was gonna be. Not even when I put some setting spray on my brush to just, you know, use it wet, it still didn't give me that color that I wanted, because if you're looking at it and then when the light hits it in the pan, it looks really nice and really metallic, which is what I was looking for. But I think you kind of lose that metallic look as you're putting it on, which, you know, doesn't really make sense. And like I said earlier, this palette introduces you to cool tones. They don't actually mix well with the warm tones. If you're like me who always does warm tone looks, and then when you try to do cool tones you kind of feel like they don't look good on you because of your maybe your skin tone or maybe just the colors you used, what I like to do is maybe add in one warm tone color. That way I kind of feel comfortable using some of the cool tones. However, like you saw earlier when I tried to mix in Access with Fudge, it didn't really work because Access doesn't really want to blend out, and it kind of just ended up looking really muddy. So I didn't like that. And if you're gonna make a palette that looks as amazing as this does, you want it to work together, which in my opinion this doesn't. So with that being said, I don't think I'm going to be keeping this palette, mainly because I don't think I'm going to get use out of it, because for an everyday basis I don't really have time to play with makeup a lot. Since I'm working a lot, I just do my everyday makeup, which is this, and I'm good to go. I'm not going to be using a lot of color in my day-to-day life, so with that, I really don't think I should just be keeping this around for no reason, you know? I think my advice to you, if you are planning on buying this palette, is to just go to Sephora, check it out, test out all the colors, see how they look on you, and then see if you really need it. And if you need it, you want it, get it. Overall, like, I think the idea of this palette is great. It just didn't work for me, so I'm not going to be keeping it. But yeah, that's it for my video today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that this was helpful. This is my first time doing sort of an in-depth review, and I hope that I didn't really forget anything else that I wanted to say. So yeah, that's it. If you want to follow me on all my social media, they'll be listed down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.